Scott, obviously a very emotional win for you, basketball side. I guess, do you want to just talk a bit about how much that meant to you?
Well, it's been on our minds for, 5 or 6 weeks when Joe first came in to talk with us, and she's always on my mind, last year and this year, and their family, and I'm in constant communication with them. But it started, 4 or 5 weeks ago, subtle reminder to these guys that this game would be coming, and obviously it's hugely important. Other than the win was very nice, but it's bigger than basketball, and to wear this and represent it for all Tasmanians, for all Australians, actually, they're fighting a nasty battle with a disease that just has no mercy. And for us to rally around and show that energy and have a chance to share it with their family, just off the charts for me. And, like I said before, I've lost my sister and my mother to cancer, and so it's quite personal. And I know what they're going through, and we continue to stay in contact with that family. And they were in our locker room to celebrate that win. And Joe's a fighter, and it's reflective of, our guys wanting to fight for her and what she's done.
On the back of that, how proud are you of the team to dig deep so well? That last quarter, you ended on a 25-8 run. And get such a
Yeah, I think just, there's moments there where obviously we bent, but we didn't break. And great credit to their team. They've been playing fantastic the last 6 or 7 weeks and scoring a lot of points and causing a lot of problems. And they continued to just, battled us. And at one point or another, I kept telling these guys, we're going to have to dig in and play some defense at some point for just a 3 or 4 minute stretch just to see if we can actually win this game where we were going. And we made some big shots and some big stops. And then the fans got involved, and the building became obviously electric. And it's really just an exciting place to be playing in this venue. And much respect to the Wildcats and just what they do. And we're just, again, humbled and hungry to go on to our next one.
Weeksy, could you sort of sense there was added importance to this game, not just for the ladder, but as Scott's mentioned, it's such an emotional thing for the club, this teal game?
Yeah, absolutely. Like Coach said, it was bigger than basketball today, and then to have the team rally behind Joe and Scott and the whole organisation, it's been crazy. And to get the fans to get into that atmosphere, I didn't think anything would beat Melbourne Game 2 of the semi-finals last year, but when Milt hit that three, it was deafening in there. So I can only imagine what it was like for them. But like we said, it was bigger than basketball today, so proud of the boys to come out and get a win.
Where would you put that up there with the best wins the Jack Jumpers have had?
I think that's probably one of the biggest of the club. Obviously beating Melbourne in Game 3 last year is up there, but with how much money we raised, we only saw a little bit of it after the game. Obviously focusing on the game, but Mags' shoes went for $2,700 and another $10,000 donation for the organisation. Is something, a lot of us are going to hold dear, that we were able to be part of something to raise that kind of money and to kind of build this club into a situation where we can have that success for the She Foundation and, have that going forward to have this teal game going forward.
You touched on it then, but how proud does it make you to be part of the Jack Jumpers and sort of in Tasmania to see how much everyone gets around courses like this?
I mean, very proud, like I said before. Proud might not even cover it. Like Coach said, I think everyone's been affected by cancer in some way or form. Family members, personally had, family members with cancer, and some that have lost that battle and some have luckily managed to get through it. And yeah, just to be able to raise that much money and, know that it's all going to a good cause for not just Tasmania, but for all of Australia. Proud doesn't cover it.
Scott, you asked during the week if you were hoping that you'd show strength and it'd give strength to cancer survivors or battlers watching this game. Do you feel that you would have done that with the performance today?
Yeah, my speech before the game is quite simple. We have to live up to our values and what this club represents, and we need to be able to, whether we win or lose, walk off this court today proud of our effort and our performance. With that being said, I'm extremely proud of just our group. This is our second winning season in our short franchise history. To get 15 wins gives us a winning season. And again, a lot of people left us for dead this year and counted this completely out of the whole process of the playoffs and being in it again. And it's just a great credit to our group, to Jacob Chance and Mark Radford and Jack Fleming and Mika Vakona and Ryan Carroll and, the whole group, Harrison Gillette. for getting these guys in this position to have a winning season. And I think it's something that shouldn't go overlooked, the fact that an expansion team comes back in 2 years' time and has another winning season. So I'm really, really proud of this group. I don't know what next week holds for us, but for us to get this across the line and have a winning season in our second year again, I think it's quite impressive to the group and what it means to be playing in a Jack Jumper uniform.
Scott, do you see the Teal game being an annual event for the club?
I better hope so. I mean, it should be, without question. And I love the color. It looks actually pretty good on me. So my wife said it was good looking on me. So the color is beautiful, but the color, obviously, and the representation of this, I think, will be able something that we can carry throughout the state and maybe grow this even bigger than just this game. So we're quite proud of it, and we're working hand in hand with Scott and Joe, whatever we can do to build them up.
Chris, go ahead.
Sorry, I muted myself. Couple of quick ones, Scott. Just a basketball-related question. This game felt like it was played at the Wildcats' tempo for a lot of it, and I'm sure you were concerned defensively how many points you were giving up. But gee, you locked down on them in that last quarter. How were you able to turn the tide defensively and lock them up when the game was on the line?
Yeah, I mean, they are scoring a large amount of points on everybody, and they're just continually just running at that pace. And we kept saying throughout the game that this is, even though we were winning or felt like we were maybe a little bit in control, I didn't feel like that at all. I felt we were actually playing into their hands to be going up and down in that kind of pace. I pleaded with these guys in the third and fourth quarter that we're just going to have to sit and guard your yard and man up and take responsibility for the people in front of you. And so we continued to grind away. We made some critical shots, obviously, but we got some actual stops consecutively, and our ball pressure was pretty solid, and it allowed us to make that little run there with 3 or 4 minutes left in the game to put them on their back foot. But when you're playing Sydney or a team like this, and that kind of pace is going, you really have to enforce your will on the game. And one team's will is going to overpower the other team's will. And Sydney did it to us. They just enforced their will on us, and we fell victim to that kind of pace. And this game was back and forth, and we were at least having the scoreboard tick over. But at some point or other, someone was going to have to make a defensive stand, and I'm obviously glad it was us.
I know you would prefer to be keeping teams to score in the 70s, and that's going to be your goal. But heading towards, hopefully, the playoff run, is it nice knowing that if a game does happen to get a little bit out of control, that you've got the ability to still score 100 points and win a game? Yeah,
obviously our offense has done a much better job this year than last year, and that's a credit again to our staff and the hard work they're doing with our players to make sure that the scoreboard is ticking over a little bit better than it did last year. And there's some happy balance with us of playing, solid defensively and also having that scoreboard tick over. And again, the consistency of what we're doing has to be there for 40 minutes, and we just can't have these lapses of a 30-point quarter or a 37-point quarter the other night, and I think they had a 33-point quarter against us. Those can be really unrecoverable, and where our staple here is to defend the island, and there's no coincidence that defend is in the first word of that. So we're trying to staple have our style around our defensive pressure and try to be a little bit different than some of the other teams, and we continue to work on that.
And Weeksy, what's the feeling like now going to Saturday's game against the Hawks, knowing that you need to go and get the job done, and if you win, you'll be playing playoffs? Yeah,
I mean, it's a great feeling, like Coach said, to keeps telling us it's a privilege to be playing for something at this time of the year, and we're going to take it day by day. We've got a full week of practice to prepare for Illawarra, who's playing some great basketball right now. They found some really good form towards the end of the season, and they're pushing a lot of good teams right down to the stretch, so going to have our hands full.
Thanks, guys.
Any last ones?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
Have a good one.